What's going on, y'all? I just got back from seeing the new King Kong X Godzilla New Empire. And you know what? If you don't want to watch this whole like 8 to 10 minute video, I totally understand. You have a lot going on. You're a busy person. Look at you. Busy and shit. Like, you got groceries and you got errands to run. You got bar mitzvahs to be at. You got kids to pick up. I get it. So let me give you the nitty gritty right now. I'm gonna hop into like an 8 to 10 minute video after this, but let me just say, overall, pretty good. I would say overall pretty good. You have to go into it just expecting big, huge, fucking massive monsters punching the shit out of each other, biting each other, throwing each other across the map, and like just absolutely going like hog wild. If that's what you want, you're gonna get a good heaping portion of that. And even more than that, I would suggest to go see it in a big, huge, cold-ass theater with a big-ass using of popcorn and your big Chipotle burrito that you snuck in there and your 69-ounce drink, Coke Zero, is that what you like? Is that what you like, you little bitch? I suggest seeing it in like IMAX Laser, IMAX Ultra 1080p 4K Ultraviolet. It enhances the experience, but for those reasons I suggest it. Now let's hop into a little bit more like deeper into it. If that's all you came for, if that's what you want, if you want to see a suggestion, if you want to hear my thoughts, then if you want a suggestion, if you want to hear my thoughts, then you got them. Let's hop into the good first, and then let's do the good first, and then the bad. The good. The good was that it had, if you came in for like stellar monster action, balls to the wall, like winner takes all, like swinging, laser beams, electricity flying, like was it Hollow? I was in Middle Earth. If you Hollow Earth action, things that don't quite make sense, but just fucking awesome to look at. Absolutely, you're gonna get like a big old heaping helping of that. You're like, yes, please, daddy, more, please, daddy. It was so freaking good. Yeah, so definitely. If you're not like but if you're like turned on and stimulated and get a big old boner from like complicated stories, then or like in-depth character development or like an emotional draw or something, I would say that you're probably not gonna get that here. You're not gonna get that here. There is one, we'll get to it. There is one emotional, like kind of like part of the movie, and we'll get to that. But overall, this movie is like, hate sis, but it's like, it's kind of for the boys a little bit. It's kind of like for like the guys who just want to like join the wrestling team, you know what I mean, or like never had that chance to take down their stepfather, or like just the angry guy, you know what I mean, or the UFC lover. Like just it's great. There's some really creative new characters. There's like little baby great ape, which is pretty cool. Like he acts as like the tutorial guide person throughout like deep Hollow Earth. He acts as like a big old like a morning star. Freaking Kong grabs his leg at one point, just smacks him around like he's like freaking like a weapon. It's pretty badass. And then like obviously there's like what was advertised right on all the commercials where Kong has a big old super Mega Man busting arm. Then it looks really sick, right? Obviously, Godzilla's pink now. He's red now. He's Super Saiyan Rose. What is this? Like, it's sick. It's sick. They definitely are not. They're not force feeding us like the same shit in the same slop we've been getting like every so often, right? My personal favorite new character. My personal favorite new like new monster is the Scar King. I almost said the Skull King. The Scar King. He plays the bad guy in this movie, and honestly, he fucks shit up. Like he's so sick. He runs this shit. He runs this town. People like Godzilla's, or sorry, not Godzilla. Great apes and other monsters alike like bow to him as he walks by. He has enslaved like essentially like the ice equivalent of Godzilla, and he also has like a super sick like chain. I think you see the commercial, right? You probably seen Scar, Mr. Scarman. He has a chain made of a spine, and it's really badass. At the end of the spine, there's like a big crystal spike thingy that he also uses to control the ice Godzilla. It's badass. It's really badass, and he might be my favorite character creativity wise, or character design. My new favorite character design for this movie. And maybe he's like a character that's been around for like 50 years. I don't freaking know. I'm not a Godzilla guy. But when I saw this movie, I really enjoyed it. There are some other pluses here. It looks fucking great. And let's just get that out of the way right now. You are not gonna go in here and be like, oh, green screen, oh, prop, that's a wig, oh, that they're not actually in a hollow earth over there. No, you're not. No. Like, this is like legitimately a great looking film, and it is consistently throughout the whole thing. The only dip in budget, I can't even think of a dip in budget. No, I mean, like, it looks super stellar, like top to bottom. It looks really cleaned up, really polished. Pro, if you're a King Kong fan, it's primarily King Kong's story, and Godzilla is there, but he's kind of more, he's playing a different kind of role this time around. He wakes up from his sleep, kills a bunch of monsters, and then goes back to sleep. And he's like, no explanation, no thoughts, just vibes, just killing. So yeah, so if you're a King Kong fan, that's a huge plus for you right there. I know another not massive W, but another W was that the group, the human group that we follow, well, I mean, you don't watch these monster films for the humans like, oh God, Lord forbid they freaking make us care about the humans, right? Because who cares? These humans are more or less like just commentary, or like subtitles or guides for what the monsters are doing. But I will say this time around that the humans were not terrible. They were a well-rounded group, right? You had like the mother scientist, you had the piece of shit sergeant captain guy who obviously gets eaten. You have like the goofy but equally as reliable like human kaiju veterinarian guy who also is kind of like an Ace Ventura type a little bit. You have like the conspiracy theorist guy who is a kind of a wacky scientist in his own right, and he follows him around. Just to recap, big, strong, scary monsters punch each other really hard, and the action's so good. The character designs are really, really good. It looks so freaking good. One of my favorite scenes was actually when they were going hyperspace into Hollow Earth. It actually felt like I was on like a Disneyland ride, and I loved it. We interrupt this video for a real quick advertisement brought to you by me. It's still Riot, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about my Patreon and my online merch shop. I actually had the online merch shop before I started doing YouTube, so I have a lot of merch. I draw my art, and then they get like stickers and keychains and satchels and t-shirts and whatever else. So I'm starting a Patreon, and basically the biggest draw of this Patreon is going to be free stickers. All you gotta do is sign on up and then choose the person of culture tier, and you'll be getting a sticker sent right to your doorstep. What's unique about mine is that every month I'm going to be putting out a poll. It's going to have 5 options, and then the last option is going to be like, comment something else. And it's basically going to say like, hey, like, what should I draw for next month? And everyone said like, oh, you should draw like Ninja Turtles. I'm gonna freaking draw Ninja Turtles, and then that's gonna be like the free sticker of the month, and I'm very excited. I've been doing this now for about 2-3 months now, and I've been really enjoying it. The first month I did solo leveling, and the second month I did X-Men. Yeah, I did X-Men. So it's free to join, and it also there's going to be a person of culture tier, and that's gonna be like the big draw. Hopefully that's gonna be the free sticker and the other discounts and some other stuff going on. I'm gonna try to make it more interactive, more fun in the future for you guys. All right, back to the review. I felt like enthralled, and please, if you go see this movie and you have like a few extra bucks, go watch it in IMAX. Dude, I promise you, it's a movie created for IMAX or even Dolby Digital or IMAX Laser. And then for the human characters were manageable. Like they were good. They were fine. They didn't take away from the story too much. They definitely were cheesy at times, but they weren't like as bad as they have been in the past for some monster movies, or dare I say even like just movies you go for action for. You know, like I can't fucking stand to keep the humans in Fast and Furious. I wish they would all just go really fast and do cool shit without talking. But yeah, those are the 4 pros, and those are solid. That alone, those 4 pros alone I think are enough to warrant a like a $12 to $15 movie ticket. It's a really good experience. Now, when I go into these cons, so what I'm about to say now regarding King Kong, Godzilla, New Empire, these are minor complaints, and maybe there are some bigger ones. However, none of which I believe should, move you away from watching this movie. Watch this movie if you like action. Number 1, I can't think of a single song that I really enjoy from this movie. Whatever, maybe I have developed a good ear for music, and OSTs, like movie soundtracks. I can't think of anything that was stand out for this one. It probably all sound like generic, like Jurassic Park movie music. Number 2 con, I would have to say that like the story is a little predictable, and it is not super deep. So you can have a deep story, emotionally moving story, and without it being complicated. It is doable. It's called focusing on like dialogue and focusing on like a smaller cast of characters, and which this movie did have. It had a small cast of human characters. It had like 5 tops human characters and like a small clan of people who didn't talk at all and didn't have human roles, didn't have talking roles. But this is the mark on like anything spectacular regarding like a deeper story. And when I say deeper, like I said, deeper as in emotional, not as in complicated. Complexity, it was fine. It was like, let me just like kind of like give you a real quick summary. Humans on Earth hear a beacon of crying from Hollow Earth, and they go down to find out what's going on. And King Kong finds out he's not alone. And like it's kind of predictable at the beginning, just because like in the beginning, King Kong, they keep driving home the fact that, oh, King Kong is so sad because he's the last one of his kind. Oh, my daughter is so sad because she's the last one of her kind. Like, oh my gosh, like just show us already the other characters that are their kinds. So that was ridiculous. There was one part of the story, actually, this one character is guilty of this twice. The Ace Ventura, like, monster kaiju veterinarian guy, he twice in the movie, he's kind of used as like a story plot sacrifice in a way to bring about the next part of the movie, in a sense. This is a massive spoiler because we see it all over the advertisements, but like Kong has a brand new Nintendo Power Glove, Super Mega Man boxing glove thingy. At one point in the movie, like, King Kong injures his hand. I'm not gonna tell you how he injures his hand, but he injures his hand. And then Ace Ventura is like, oh my gosh, he hurt his hand. Well, you know what this means? We can finally use our government-funded heavy-duty Titan X. And it just so happens we have a facility nearby where we can enhance and make King Kong better. But wait, there's more. Call now. We also will give you this hand healing serum for free. Data rates and messages may apply or whatever. So that was like, even when I was watching it, I was like, oh, come on, is that how we're gonna get it? Like, it's not like something more cool. I could have. It felt so lazy. No, I'm like so. I guess another con would be there are some lazy dips in the writing where things are just too fucking convenient. And happen later in the movie. Ace Ventura again, like, pulls like one out of his ass. He's like, I'll be right back, y'all. I mean, middle of a big fight, don't you worry, I'll be right back. And then like 3 minutes later, he brings a horde of like electrified buzzard birds to like fight alongside King Kong and Godzilla. And that lasts like 3 minutes or so, probably bought him some time. But it was just like, whatever, it probably would have, the movie, it did add anything really to the movie. It didn't take away anything really from the movie. It kind of felt like they were on the fence about adding that scene, but they did anyway, so I don't know. Another con would be like the last con, I think, because I can keep nitpicking at like the story, right? I can keep telling you about like how this part didn't make sense and how the time to get to here from here took them, 45 minutes earlier, and now it took them like 3 minutes just for plot convenience. I could tell you all those things. But I think at the end of the day, if you want to be an Oscar nomination, if you're gunning for your movie to be talked about for more than a few months, it has to, hit a home run in like more departments than just one. Godzilla Minus One, for example. Godzilla Minus One, like, I cannot think about that movie without being so emotional and so hyped at the same time. Godzilla Minus One had insane action sequences, like scientifically sound, like battle attack tactics, and even more than all of that, it had such a fucking good human story. I cannot emphasize enough how good and emotional the human stuff, the human side of that movie was. Yes, Godzilla was in it, and yes, he was badass. The humans, I would argue, were the best part about that movie. And on top of the cinematography and the set design, all so good. And on like a fucking shoestring budget too. That movie was in the talks for months and months and months, and people are still talking about that movie. What King Kong X Godzilla X New Empire X does it nail home exactly is the humans, and that's okay. I think that if they were going for more like a fun getaway movie where you had a great time and you laughed a little bit and you had a good time just watching huge monsters fuck each other up, then they accomplished their goal, because that's what it was. You get what you paid for, essentially. I will give it one more credit. The mom and daughter relationship in this movie was actually a tiny bit better than I would have expected. I was a little bit emotional about it. I think mostly from Molly's perspective. I think that actor, I thought it was Scarlett Johansson. It's not Scarlett Johansson. I think that actor does a super stellar job in showing her like raw love and emotion and yearning for her daughter, adopted daughter, mind you, to come back to her. And so I will give it that credit, that there was almost like a half decent like human story shoehorned into this movie. Plugging Godzilla X Kong X King X Empire into the Never Lose Heart meter of ratings, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a nice and happy 7.8 out of 10. Great action, great character designs. It looked fucking good on a massive screen. The cons, humans were once again like nothing to write home about, but they weren't horrible. No notable music. Story wasn't deep, and not to say it wasn't complicated. Not to say that it was complicated, but it wasn't deep. Yeah, I mean, like it was solid. It's a great spring/summer blockbuster flick, and go check it out. All right, I never know how to end these things. Bye.